Revealed, how one vicious betrayal uncovered an incredible love that changed my life forever. The summer sun blazed over the small Midwestern town, where laughter and warm barbecue scents mingled with the nostalgia of Friday nights. Sarah had always thought she belonged. As a single mother running late shifts at the diner, she managed to keep her head above water. Each day started with the aroma of fresh coffee swirling around her, accompanied by the sound of her young son Tommy's footsteps dashing through the kitchen. Yet, one fateful night at the community potluck would unravel her comfortable existence in a way she never imagined. Jenna, Sarah's childhood friend, stood at the center of the gathering like a queen. But the crown was about to slip. "Hey everyone, did you know Sarah still sleeps with her childhood teddy bear?" Jenna's voice was playful, but the words cut like a knife. Gasps erupted, followed by nervous laughter. Sarah felt her cheeks burn as eyes darted in her direction. The laughter was a hollow echo in her heart where trust once resided. That moment, when Jenna's careless reveal shattered the night, made Sarah feel naked before a crowd she had once felt at home with. For a brief moment, time stood still. Sarah's world shifted as the whispers of betrayal drowned out the warmth of community bonds. It was as if someone had pulled back the curtain on a stage she performed on her entire life, leaving her exposed and scrambling for something to hold on to. The pain was sharp, it struck her deep in her chest, threatening to crush her spirit. Little did she know, solace would soon emerge from unexpected quarters. One evening, while sipping coffee alone, she met Harvey, the quiet janitor from the high school. He had an understanding in his eyes that mirrored her own confusion and pain. "You know, it's tough being labeled something you're not, isn't it?" he said one night, stirring her heart to brave vulnerability. Their late-night talks revealed a tapestry of shared struggles and unfulfilled dreams, each story pulling them closer. With every laugh and shared experience, a spark ignited between them, pushing back the shadows of loneliness. But as they ventured deeper into this connection, Sarah stood at a crossroads. A dazzling job offer from a city restaurant had landed in her lap. It sounded so perfect, escape from the judgmental whispers, a new beginning, but it also felt like a chain tethering her firmly away from Tommy and the life she fought to create. As she gazed into her son's innocent eyes, hope and fear clashed within. Gathered voices filled the town hall meeting as community members confronted the fallout of Jenna's betrayal. They spoke of hurt, pride, and the values that held their town together. Sarah's heart raced as Jenna stood among them, regret sitting uncomfortably on her shoulders. She could feel everyone's gaze linger on her, waiting for her to make a choice, a decision between the security of her town and the allure of possibilities. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Her moment had arrived, but the whisper of uncertainty clouded her thoughts. Would she challenge Jenna? Could she forgive? As the tension mounted and eyes turned toward her, Sarah inhaled deeply, caught between flight and fight. The warmth of newfound love and the roots of her home battled fiercely. Which life would she choose? A new chapter hung in the balance, an answer waiting just beyond the veil of the familiar. As Sarah stood there, all eyes locked on her, it was as if time had frozen. The whispers swirled around her, each one an echo of her betrayal, the sting of Jenna's words still fresh in her mind. What had once felt like home now felt like a trap. She wanted to flee, to hide, to shield herself and Tommy from the prying gazes. Yet deep down, a fire sparked within her. She remembered Harvey's words, the way they had found solace in each other's stories. Slowly, she faced Jenna. The girl who had once been her best friend looked small and vulnerable, regret washing over her in waves. This was the moment, Sarah thought. No more silence. Jenna, she began, her voice steadying against the turmoil in her heart, you think you know me. You think you know my life just because we shared a past. But you don't. You've made me feel small, like I'm less than I am. It's time to take that back. Gasps rippled through the crowd, a current of surprise. Sarah felt Tommy's small hand slip into hers, his innocent support grounding her in resolve. She softened her tone, letting her vulnerability show. I have insecurities just like everyone else. But I won't let anyone define me. Not anymore. Jenna's eyes brimmed with tears, an apologetic apology waiting to spill forth, yet the words hung unspoken. Instead, silence filled the air, giving Sarah room to breathe. Every eye in the room now held more than judgment. They reflected empathy, understanding. The narrative wasn't only hers, it belonged to everyone in that room. Those who had faced betrayal, who had struggled to recover their identities. A heat rose in Sarah's chest as she realized that maybe she wasn't alone in this. Sometimes we hurt each other, sometimes we uplift, she said, taking a step toward Jenna. I'd like to believe we all deserve a chance to change. A ripple of hesitant agreement swept across the audience. Some nodded, and murmurs of support sprung up, but in the midst of that budding connection, Sarah felt the pull of the job offer aching in her heart, the thought of leaving everything behind looming like a shadow. Would this moment change her path? Could forgiveness cleanse away the past, allowing new connections to flourish? Harvey's gentle smile flashed in her mind. He had seen the real Sarah, and now, she was showing that person to everyone else. Just then, a voice interrupted her thoughts. Sarah, you're right. It was one of the town's older residents, Mrs. Jensen, her wise eyes sparkling. We're human. We make mistakes. But what matters is how we decide to move forward together. As the crowd murmured in agreement, Sarah felt something shift. The town wasn't entirely against her, they were simply scared. Suddenly it became clear, perhaps this community needed her too, to not only heal her wounds but to help heal theirs. With newfound confidence spiraling within her, she took a step toward the front, raising her arm to signal the end of Jenna's reign over her narrative. In this moment, she could embrace the potential of love, the strength of community, and the promise of new beginnings, without letting the past dictate her future. But as she felt her heart hammering in her chest, another thought struck her: what if she chose to take the job in the city? What if that was the fresh start she so desperately needed, far from the memories of betrayal? Now torn between two worlds, Sarah stood on the brink of a decision that would shape not just her future, but also Tommy's. Just as she opened her mouth to declare her next move, a sudden silence enveloped the hall, and the anticipation thickened. What would she choose? The comfort of the familiar or the exhilarating unknown? Would she risk everything for love, or hold tight to the security she'd created for herself and Tommy? As the town waited, hearts pounding, Sarah's journey to discovery was just beginning. The silence in the hall felt thick, almost tangible, wrapping around Sarah like a heavy blanket. She glanced at Tommy, his wide eyes filled with trust and innocence. At that moment, she realized her choice extended far beyond herself. It involved the little boy who relied on her strength. "Mommy?" Tommy whispered, sensing the tension. His soft voice brought Sarah back to the present. She looked at him, and the fierce love she felt surged through her. She was fighting not just for her own future but for his, too. Did she want him to grow up believing in limits, or to know that life could be full of possibility? "Sarah." Jenna's voice broke through the haze of uncertainty, now tremulous, almost pleading. I'm sorry. For everything. I've messed up. We all make mistakes, but I know I almost ruined everything that mattered to you. The crowd shifted, and Sarah could feel the weight of their collective breath held in anticipation. She could sense their curiosity, their yearning to witness the aftermath of buried emotions. The years of friendship, suddenly bound in a moment of vulnerability, hung between them, waiting for a breath of recognition or a sigh of release. "Jenna, I appreciate your apology," Sarah replied slowly, choosing her words with care. "But it's not just about what happened between us. It's about how I've felt trapped by your expectations, by this town, by everything. A soft murmur of agreement rolled through the audience. They were no longer merely spectators, they had become participants in her awakening. I felt paralyzed by everyone else's perceptions, Sarah continued, her voice rising with resolution. I felt I had to leave to find myself, to break free from it all. But you don't have to leave, Sarah, someone shouted from the back. You've changed us all today. The conviction in the voice sent ripples of courage through her. She could feel the community's rallying support palpably surrounding her, and it ignited a flicker of energy within. Perhaps she could still embrace her dreams without casting aside the connections she had feared to reclaim. Maybe what I need isn't to run away but to stay and rebuild, Sarah suggested aloud, feeling empowered by the shared resolve. To help us all discover who we can be without tearing each other down. The crowd began to stir, a murmur of excitement flowing through the hall. Sarah! Tommy exclaimed, beaming. You're a hero. Her heart swelled at the joy in his voice. This wasn't just about her identity, it was about showing him that true heroism meant facing fears, embracing kindness, and understanding the strength of community. But what about the job? The question hung in the air, striking like a thunderclap. As her pulse quickened, she bit her lip, feeling the tension again. Was this the right decision? The familiar ache for escape whispered in her ear. The job represented a chance for a new life, but now, standing before her community, all of them, she felt the weight of their hope resting on her shoulders. Could she manage both? Could she carve out a space for growth and healing in this town while still pursuing her dreams? The answer felt elusive, and for just an instant, self-doubt flashed through her mind. As she opened her mouth to speak, she noticed Jenna looking at her, an unspoken question hanging between them. Sarah sensed that in some way, Jenna needed healing, too. Let us do this together, Sarah called out, the intensity building in her voice. Let us start fresh, as a community. The crowd erupted into applause, a wave of unity washing over them. Yet, in that cheering moment, Sarah felt the shadows of her decision still looming. Would she truly find a way to honor both her heart's desire and their collective needs? Just then, the doors swung open dramatically, and a figure stepped forward, stunning everyone into silence again. What are you doing here? Sarah's voice trembled as she recognized the face she thought she'd left behind. It was Harvey, and the look in his eyes held secrets waiting to be unveiled. In that moment, Sarah realized her journey was far from over. What new revelations would he bring? Were friendships stronger than the past, and could love truly reshape their futures? Harvey stood at the entrance, his presence a jarring contrast to the warmth of the moment. The crowd's applause faded into an uneasy hush, all eyes now fixated on him. Sarah felt a knot tighten in her stomach. Memories of their shared laughter, late-night talks, and the passion that had once ignited between them flickered through her mind like a film reel, but they were laced with the bitterness of betrayal. Sarah, he said softly, stepping further into the hall. There was a hesitance in his voice, as if he understood the weight of his return. I didn't think you'd be here today. She felt Tommy's small hand squeeze hers, grounding her amidst the turmoil. You shouldn't have come back, she said, a tremor betraying her composure. Not after everything. Harvey's gaze dropped momentarily, shame coloring his features. When he looked back at her, determination burned in his eyes. I know I've made mistakes, but I've changed. I came to apologize, to explain. The murmurs in the crowd swelled, curiosity intertwining with disbelief. They were leaning in, waiting for the drama to unfold. Sarah locked eyes with Jenna, who appeared equally astonished. The earlier warmth between them now felt precarious, as if it could shatter at any moment. Explain. Sarah echoed, her voice rising. You shattered my trust. You left me feeling so alone, like I was the only one fighting for what mattered. I was running from my own demons, Harvey said, his voice raw with emotion. You deserved more than I could give back then. I thought leaving would make it easier, but it only haunts me. The crowd held its breath, drawn into the intensity between Sarah and Harvey. She could see the wheels turning in their minds. They were questioning whether a redemption arc was possible, whether love could somehow survive betrayal. "Haunts you, huh?" Sarah scoffed lightly. "Do you think that makes it easier for me? I had to learn to forgive myself too while figuring out how to stand on my own." "I'm here to help you," Harvey insisted, stepping closer. "I thought I could start by helping this community, by being part of the rebuilding you want to do." "I've been volunteering and volunteering." The disbelief poured from her words. "Did you think that would make it all better? You can't just walk back in and expect to play hero now." "We are all broken, Sarah," Harvey replied, an edge entering his tone. "But I believe in the strength of the connections we make, even the ones that hurt us. We can rebuild this town together. Please." Sarah clutched Tommy's hand tighter, feeling the whirlwind of conflicting emotions within her. She wanted to scream at him, to shake him until he recognized the pain he had caused. Yet, there was a flicker of serpentine hope that perhaps forgiveness was a possibility, just not yet. The crowd buzzed with a mixture of anxiety and fascination, caught in the tension of the moment. Harvey's return was disrupting everything. "Sarah," Jenna said quietly, a voice of reason amid the storm. "You don't have to decide this now. Maybe you can take the time you need." Her words washed over Sarah like a soothing balm. She exhaled slowly, absorbing the uncertainty yet again circling her choices. What foundation would they need to build upon? Could they really confront the past all while striving for something hopeful, something that wouldn't just survive, but thrive? But just as clarity began to settle, Sarah noticed a familiar figure slip through the doorway behind Harvey, someone she didn't expect, someone who changed everything yet again. Claire. Sarah's heart dropped as she processed the sight before her. What was she doing here? Had the past truly come back to shadow her new beginnings, or was it all leading to something beyond her imagination? Why now? Sarah thought, battling a swell of confusion. What lay ahead, and could she face it with an open heart? Sarah's voice barely rose above a whisper, a ghost of disbelief etched across her face. The crowd's murmurs drifted into silence as the weight of her name hung heavy in the air. Claire stepped forward, her confident stride contrasting starkly with the sudden vulnerability spilling from Sarah. "I had to come," Claire said, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "I didn't want to miss this moment. Not again. Not again." Sarah echoed, her heart racing. The memories of whispered secrets and shared dreams with Claire crashed over her like waves. No longer just a friend, Claire had been part of the pieces Sarah had painstakingly put back together after Harvey's departure. And now, standing there, she felt exposed. Harvey shifted on his feet, his brow furrowing. "You know her?" he asked, confusion painting his features. "I know her," Sarah said defiantly, stepping closer. "She's the one who stood by me when you left me in pieces. She's the reason I found my strength again." Claire shot Sarah a brief, proud smile, but the air was thick with tension. "I didn't mean to create a scene," she explained, glancing between the two. "I just felt the pull, and why now, Claire?" Sarah interrupted, her voice sharp. "Why come back when everything's already so complicated? I came back to show you that while the past can hurt us, it can also bring us together," Claire said, her words wrapping around Sarah like a comforting blanket. "Don't you see? We all have our struggles, but it doesn't mean we can't form new paths." A mix of confusion and warmth swirled within Sarah. Claire had always understood her in ways that no one else could. Yet, how could she begin accepting the tangled history that now enveloped them like fog? "Sarah, I realize this is overwhelming," Harvey spoke up, taking a tentative step forward. "But if we could just talk privately." Sarah snapped, frustration flooding her veins. "What part of your betrayal is worth a discussion? Are we to sit around sharing feelings like it's just another day?" The crowd remained fixated, witnessing her turmoil, her disappointment. Jenna's gentle hand landed on Sarah's shoulder, a quiet reminder of support, urging her to breathe, to focus amidst chaos. "I'm not asking for you to forgive me," Harvey replied, vulnerability breaking through his bravado. "I just want a chance to show you stop." Sarah's voice pierced the air, holding the power of a dammed river ready to break. "You've had your chance. Claire's right, this is about building something new." Harvey stepped back, his disappointment evident, but Sarah's heart ached for him, tangled with the remnants of their once bright connection. But then she turned back to Claire, seeking the familiarity of their bond amidst the unsettling waves. "What do you think, Claire? Can we actually do it? Can we move beyond the hurt? With both of them here?" Claire smiled gently, her eyes shimmering with belief. "We can. We're stronger together, Sarah. The past shaped us, but it does not define us. We have the choice to forge our own path." The party atmosphere had waned into a charged silence, layers of history unfurling around them. An important decision loomed, not just for Sarah, but for everyone involved. As Sarah stared at Harvey, then Claire, she felt a sudden pang of adrenaline and understanding that some doors could be opened as others closed. Whatever lay ahead wouldn't be easy, but it could lead to a journey richer than she had imagined. What if Sarah hesitated, weighing her heart against her head? "What if I let you both in, but with rules? Conditions?" The crowd shifted, gasping in anticipation. With every word, Sarah felt the weight of the past loosening its grip, as if a new turning point had emerged, one that would test her resolve and redefine what love and forgiveness could mean. "Conditions?" Harvey echoed, hope flickering in his expression. "What that means exactly, I have no idea yet," Sarah added honestly, glancing between them. "But I'm willing to explore those possibilities. Together." The air crackled with tension, uncertainty, and something else, hope that perhaps, through all this, they could weave something beautiful out of old scars. As Sarah took a breath, she could sense the moment was ripe for change. What would happen next? Would they rise above their past, or would the shadows consume their chance for healing? The uncertainty weighed heavily, yet the desire to step forward overpowered every hesitation. "Let us see where this journey takes us," she said, feeling a mixture of dread and exhilaration as they began to tread the perilous waters of their new reality together. A heavy silence cloaked the room, the air thick with the weight of unspoken promises and hidden fears. Sarah felt the stares of the crowd pierce through her like needles, every eye an uninvited witness to her turmoil. The music from the party felt distant, muffled under the pounding of her heart. Harvey's expression mixed hope with fear, while Claire stood resolute beside her, a pillar of strength. "Remember," Claire murmured, barely audible but fierce. "You're not alone in this." Sarah drew in a breath, the warmth of Claire's words enveloping her. They ignited a sense of courage that had long lain dormant. She was tired of hiding, tired of living in the shadows of betrayal. Turning back to Harvey, she summoned the strength to maintain eye contact. "If we're going to do this, it has to be different. No more games. No more hiding who we are. We need to be transparent about everything." Harvey nodded slowly, the corners of his mouth twitching upward as if he were struggling to find the right words. "I promise, Sarah. No more secrets." "I don't want to hear empty promises," she replied, her voice firm. "You need to show me." "Let us take this one step at a time," Claire interjected gently, watching the emotions swirl between them. "We're all in uncharted waters here. It's okay to be cautious." "I agree," Harvey said, glancing back and forth between them. "Maybe we start with honesty. I can tell you everything about why I left, about what I was thinking. After that, you can decide if you want me in your life or not." Sarah's breath hitched. Part of her yearned to know, the other part screamed to run, to shield herself from potential heartbreak. "All right," she finally said, her heart racing. "But everything. No sugarcoating." As Harvey began to speak, Sarah felt a tremor of vulnerability pass through her. Each word unraveled layers of their past, revealing insecurities and regrets she'd never imagined. "I thought leaving was what was best for you," Harvey confessed, his voice cracking slightly. But I was selfish. I should have stayed and faced it with you. Claire glanced at Sarah, urging her to hold on to the strength she declaimed. As Harvey continued, recounting the struggles that led to his departure, Sarah found herself torn. This was a different kind of honesty, one that sliced through layers of hurt and disappointment. When he finished, a profound silence hung in the air, filled with weighty moments that felt both heavy and cathartic. "Thank you for sharing that," Sarah said, surprising herself with the calmness in her voice. "It helps to understand." But could understanding really heal the wounds that still throbbed? She turned to Claire, who nodded encouragingly. "Now it's your turn, Sarah," Claire said softly. "What do you need to say?" The world around her faded once more as she focused on Harvey, the man who had once been her everything and now stood fragile before her. The love she had thought lost flared within her, yet so did the pain, mingling with the excitement coursing through her veins. "I need you to realize that trust takes time," she said quietly, feeling every heartbeat pound through her. "I don't know if I can ever look at you the same way, but I want to try if you're willing to patient." A flicker of something hope, maybe sparked in Harvey's eyes. "I'll do whatever it takes, Sarah. I'm here for the long haul, I promise." Claire reassuredly squeezed Sarah's hand, grounding her with a vintage feeling of their familiar bond. As the tension began to ease slightly, the energy in the air transformed, hinting that perhaps, just perhaps, this was a beginning, yet, what awaited them on this road was uncertain. Would it be riddled with obstacles, or were they truly about to discover something beautiful? The vulnerability hung in the air, leaving a bittersweet taste that promised challenges ahead. As Sarah looked into the eyes of both Claire and Harvey, she felt a wave of emotion wash over her. They stood on the brink of something difficult yet beautiful, an opportunity to redefine love and forgiveness amidst the shards of their past, and just then, the room erupted in applause, a stark reminder of the crowd's presence, as if the universe itself was urging them onward. Would they embrace this second chance, or would they falter beneath the weight of their history? The thought echoed in Sarah's mind, growing louder and louder as she faced what lay ahead. "Are we ready to rebuild?" she asked, her heart racing with anticipation. The moment felt like a fork in the road, the next step crucial in guiding their journey. Would they take the leap, or retreat into the safety of their previous selves? The applause gradually faded, leaving just the murmurs of the crowd, curious eyes watching every flicker of emotion. Sarah's heart raced, each beat a reminder of the stakes. She could feel the weight of expectation not just from those around her, but from herself. Was she truly ready to embrace what lay ahead? Harvey stepped closer, the space between them charged with an energy that felt both thrilling and terrifying. "Sarah," he started, his voice barely above a whisper, "are you sure about this? Once we dive in, there's no going back." His words hung in the air, stirring a mix of excitement and fear within her. What if they found a way to rebuild but ended up breaking apart again? What if they stumbled upon deeper wounds that neither of them was prepared for? The thought made her stomach churn. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to focus. "I can't avoid it forever," she replied, trying to steady her voice. "Every moment that goes by, it feels like this unfinished story is eating away at me. I need to know if we can truly move forward." Claire remained by her side, a reassuring presence as she nodded in agreement. "It's about confronting what happened, not just accepting it. Honesty is the key, and you're already embracing that." Sarah felt a rush of gratitude for her friend. She needed that steady support now more than ever. "Okay," Harvey said, his expression growing serious. "Let us do this. I'll lay everything bare. No omissions, no half-truths." With a sense of shared determination, they shifted their focus back to each other. Sarah braced herself, emotions swirling inside. "Then let us talk about the day you left," she said, her heart in her throat. "What were you thinking? Why didn't you say goodbye?" Harvey's shoulders slumped, and he looked down, guilt etched on his face. "I thought I was saving you from pain. I thought you'd be better off without me." Her breath caught. Better off? By running away? I know it sounds selfish, he said, desperation creeping into his voice. But I was scared. I was drowning under the pressure. I distanced myself, thinking it would make things easier, but instead, it only made everything worse. Sarah felt a pang of empathy mixed with anger. You had no right to decide what was best for me. You should have trusted me enough to be part of that decision. Tears brimmed in his eyes, and for the first time, she saw a glimpse of the broken man beneath the bravado. I see that now, I really do. I was trying to protect you but ended up breaking us. I've regretted that day every single moment since. And what makes you think I can trust you again? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. I don't expect you to, he responded, his sincerity palpable. But I'm willing to fight for that trust. I don't want to run away anymore. I want to face this with you, however impossible it seems. The honesty between them hung heavy, inviting but daunting. Sarah could feel the stir of something resilient within her. Perhaps there was still a chance to navigate this chaos together. Maybe fighting is what we need, she finally said. But it won't be easy. We need to confront everything, the good and the bad. No sugarcoating. Agreed, Claire interjected. You both deserve clarity. No secrets can help in rebuilding your relationship. As they exchanged glances, a new understanding began to form in the room. The silence was laden with possibility, despite the uncertainties. Sarah's heart beat louder with anticipation, intertwining fear and hope. Just then, loud laughter erupted from the nearby party, and the door swung open, spilling in the bright energy of the celebration. People swarmed, pulling attention away. But within their tiny bubble, it felt like nothing else existed. Let us embrace this moment, Sarah said, her voice a blend of determination and vulnerability. She glimpsed Claire, then back at Harvey. Together. As they nodded in agreement, a flicker of respect passed between them, a fragile thread connecting their broken pieces. But deep down, the questions danced like shadows in Sarah's mind. Was it truly possible to rewrite their history? Or were they simply setting themselves up for another heartache, deeper than before? Feeling the weight of the unknown before her, she took a step forward into the chaos, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing full well it might hurt just as much as it healed. But then again, what if healing was everything they ever needed? Would she have the courage to find out? Sarah glanced around as the crowd buzzed with laughter and excitement. It was like she was standing on the edge of two worlds, the old one that had left her heart in tatters, and the new one, filled with uncertain hope. Are you ready? Claire's voice pulled her back to the moment. The determination on her friend's face matched the fluttering mix of excitement and fear in her own chest. I think so, Sarah replied, her gaze intent on Harvey. He wore an expression that was a cocktail of anxiety and hope, mirroring her own feelings. All right, Harvey said, drawing in a deep breath. It's now or never. What do you want to start with? Sarah asked, trying to maintain a steady voice. They were about to dive into memories that could either set them free or drag them down even deeper. Let us talk about everything, the reasons I left and all the things I've tried to avoid since then. It's time for the truth, even if it hurts. She nodded, wishing for the courage to truly understand. Then let us not just talk about what happened that day. What brought you to that moment? What was going on inside you? Harvey shifted, his eyes clouded with memories. I was suffocating under expectations, my family, my job, everything. I thought running away would help. I thought it would be easier for both of us. He cleared his throat, tension tightening across his brow. But every day without you, I realized how wrong I was. Sarah felt her pulse quicken, a mixture of sympathy and resentment swirling. You could have shared that with me. You didn't have to shoulder it alone. I know, he said, frustration creeping into his voice. I wish I had the strength then to show you how much I was struggling. Instead, I made a choice based on fear. Fear that I would only drag you down with me. A heavy silence fell as Sarah processed his words. Her heart pounded, caught between the urge to forgive and the wounds that still ached from their past. The weight of unresolved pain knotted her stomach. Do you think I wouldn't have been there for you? That I couldn't have helped? I was afraid you'd see me as weak, he admitted, and his honesty felt like an open wound. But I get it now. Vulnerability is strength. Claire interjected softly, sensing the emotional tide swelling. You both took the time to hurt. Now it's about healing together. What steps are you willing to take? Sarah fixed her eyes on Harvey, searching for signs of sincerity. Can you promise that you'll talk about these things going forward? No more shutting down. I promise. His voice trembled with conviction. As they continued to delve into their past, each revelation brought them closer, yet with every layer peeled back, another fear emerged. Tell me about the nights you spent thinking about me, she asked, curiosity threading through her guarded heart. He inhaled deeply, and for a moment, his eyes sparked with raw emotion. I lay awake, haunted by memories, our laughter, your smile, everything. And it made me realize that I had been selfish. You had been my light, and I snuffed it out. I can't erase that, but I want to make it right. Sarah felt tears stinging her eyes. She wasn't sure if they would bring closure or ignite old flames. It's going to take time. Am I ready for that? The laughter from the party outside was a distant echo, providing a stark backdrop to the deep conversation. It faded, leaving them in a silence brimming with unspoken feelings. Whatever it takes, I want to try. Harvey's words were filled with desperation but also a flicker of hope. It was a promise, but was it a promise they could keep? Just as uncertainty crept back in, a loud crash echoed from the adjoining room, breaking the tension. They glanced toward the noise, startled. What was that? Claire asked, her eyebrows raised in surprise. At the height of their vulnerable moment, reality had lurched unpredictably back into view. And with it came the realization that while they were confronting the past, external chaos could easily disrupt their progress. Sarah looked back at Harvey, her heart pounding. Are we really prepared for everything this journey might bring? The question hung heavy in the air, pregnant with possibility. Would they stand strong against whatever storm approached, or would it tear them apart once more? The crash jolted them from their intimate space, but instead of fear, curiosity surged within Sarah. She couldn't ignore the unmistakable sound of voices rising with excitement from the other room. Something about the break felt like an omen, urging them to push their boundaries even further. That had to be what? A chair falling over? Claire asked, moving to the door as an excited laugh echoed through the wall. I don't know, but I kind of don't want to check, Sarah replied, though she felt a flicker of nervous energy igniting inside her. It was strange to consider how the chaos outside felt somehow representative of their own lives, messy and unpredictable. I guess we should go see, Harvey suggested, a half-hearted smile breaking through his tension. We can't hide in here forever. As they stepped into the adjoining room, Sarah was met with an unexpected burst of laughter. The party was in full swing, people mingling carefree while cups clinked together, and glances were exchanged with playful glints. There was a stark contrast between the vibrant energy surrounding them and the heavy emotions they had been wrestling with just moments ago. Claire grinned as she waved goodbye to a couple of friends. This is what we needed. Just a little distraction. But Sarah's mind was still in the deep waters of their earlier conversation. Could distraction be enough for them? She caught Harvey's gaze. It flickered with apprehension as if he, too, felt the gravity of their unresolved talk threading heavily through the lively atmosphere. What if we break away from this for a bit? He suggested softly, leaning in so only she could hear over the music. Just you and me. We need time, just to breathe. Yeah, we do, Sarah whispered back, appreciating his instinct to steal a moment away from the crowd. With a half-shy smile, she motioned towards the side door leading to the deck. After you. The fresh air hit them like a cool wave, sweeping away some of the party chaos. They stepped outside, leaving the noise behind, and found themselves standing under the stars. The moon cast a gentle light across their faces, illuminating the cautious hope blooming in her heart. "Can we just hold on to this moment?" Sarah asked, feeling the apprehension lift. "I mean, it doesn't have to always be about the heavy stuff, right?" "Absolutely." Harvey took her hand, an electric connection pulsing between their fingers. "Just being here feels right." For a moment, they stood silently, absorbing each other's presence and the vastness above. The cumbersome questions about their future lingered at the edge of her mind, but the quiet solace of the night kept her fears at bay. "I just want you to know," Harvey started, his voice breaking the stillness, "I really am here. For you. I don't want to run again. I mean it." "I want to believe that," Sarah confessed, her heart racing. "But what if the past comes back to haunt us? Though. I want to try to trust you." She could see a spark ignite in his eyes, but it was quickly replaced by concern. "Trust is tough. But isn't it worth risking?" Words sank deep, echoing against the night sky. In that moment, she felt the gravity of uncertainty entwined with undeniable possibility. Would they stand the test of time? Could the future hold a love rebuilt on truths, even as shadows of their past loomed nearby? Before she could respond, the sharp sound of laughter again broke through the serene atmosphere, drawing her attention back into the night. This time, it felt like a call to come back to the energy of the party, back to confronting reality. "Let us go," she said, determination mixing with her apprehension. "It's time to face it all together." The two turned to head back inside, hearts open and ready to confront whatever chaos awaited them. But as they stepped through the door, a figure moved into view, someone unexpected, someone from Sarah's past that could change everything. "Sarah." "Harvey." The voice came from the shadows, leaving her heart racing again. What more awaited them in this journey of healing and hope? "Sarah." "Harvey." The voice echoed through the deck, pulling Sarah's heart into a tumult of uncertainty. There, illuminated by the faint party lights, stood Mrs. Jenkins, the town's longtime mayor. She was a figure of authority but also someone who had been a constant in Sarah's life, a symbol of resilience in their small community. Sarah's stomach dropped. "Mrs. Jenkins. What are you doing here?" The mayor stepped closer, her gaze unfaltering. "I was looking for you both. I think it's time we talk." With a quick glance, Sarah shared her unease with Harvey. They were just starting to explore the complexities of their relationship, and now, the weight of their unfinished business tugged at them again. Yet, something in Mrs. Jenkins' tone was compelling, it held a promise of more understanding, of clarity. "All right," Sarah said slowly, a rush of determination flooding her voice. "Let us talk." As they walked back inside, Sarah could sense the energy shift in the air. The laughter seemed less distant now, the joyous sounds framing their serious discussion. Mrs. Jenkins led them to a quieter corner of the party, away from the raucous laughter that punctuated the evening. "I wanted to address everything happening in town," she began, glancing around the room. "This community has been divided by gossip, heartache, and misunderstandings." Sarah felt the weight of her role, of their role, pressing upon her. She glanced at Harvey, who nodded slightly, sharing the resolve she felt rising within her. "In this very space, real damage was done," Mrs. Jenkins continued, her fingers tracing the edge of the table. "But I believe it's also where healing can begin." Sarah took a deep breath. "I'm not a hero, Mrs. Jenkins. I'm still figuring things out." "But you're fighting to reclaim your narrative," Mrs. Jenkins said, her voice steady. "People can feel that passion. They want to support you. And the town. We need that." A crackle of uncertainty ran through Sarah, but it was intertwined with hope. Here was validation, the universe truly nudging her to step into her own light. She felt the warmth of the support swell around her. Harvey took the opportunity, too. "I want to help build that bridge back to that sense of community, to contribute and show that I can be more than just my past mistakes." Mrs. Jenkins smiled, warmth flooding her strict demeanor. That's what we all need to do, stand together, claim our stories, and give one another chance. You all can start right here, right now. The truth settled within Sarah's spirit. This was bigger than her, it was about their entire community rising from the ashes of betrayal, embracing healing, and weaving ties stronger than before. With newfound courage, Sarah turned to Harvey. Can we navigate this together? I want to, he responded earnestly, passion teeming in the challenges they faced. I want to be part of this town and of your life again. I will put in the work to regain your trust. And then, Sarah felt it, the decisive clarity of purpose blooming in her heart. Let us do it, she said firmly. Just then, the energy in the room pulsed with renewed excitement, as whispers of planning and organization for community events began to circulate. A celebration of shared initiatives materialized around them. This felt like her moment, the starting line of their collective journey toward community spirit and the reclamation of her identity in the process. The evening buzzed with ideas and laughter, alive with possibilities. Sarah looked around, her heart swelling with pride and anticipation. I want to organize a town event, she called out, rallying attention. A gathering to heal the rifts, to showcase unity, show the love that makes our town strong. Cheers erupted from the crowd surrounding them. You're a visionary, Sarah. Mrs. Jenkins beamed, injecting the energy atop the groundswell of support. Let us make this happen. With each clap, each cheer, Sarah felt the burden of past betrayals lifting. They were igniting a revolution of change together, not only for individuals but for friendships rekindled and families forged anew. And I want to share stories. Everyone has a voice that deserves to be heard, Harvey added, his enthusiasm infectious. Joy clung to the air like summer fragrance, wrapping around the crowd tightly. With their hearts open, they began mapping out their vision for the future, the night alive with energy. As Sarah looked at Harvey, she saw the same determination mirrored in his eyes. The commitment to healing flowed through them both. It was this connection that would help guide them, the same connection that risked everything and showcased resilience, love, and a newfound hope. Let us just take one step at a time, she said softly. Together, he replied, his eyes bright with promise, filled with the unshakable strength of restoration and the potential of their paths intertwined. And in that moment, Sarah understood, this was the change she had been looking for, the community that would fight with her, alongside her. A love renewed, a town reborn, and her story rewritten with layers of compassion and understanding. As the evening wore on, laughter mingled with the sweet notes of forgiveness, joy blooming like wildflowers in springtime. They stood shoulder to shoulder, resolved and ready, determined to face the uncertainties ahead together. It's time to rise. Now, if you enjoyed this heartwarming conclusion, you need to subscribe to the channel immediately. Don't wait not even one more second, hit that button and join our community of amazing storytellers. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and keep this incredible content coming. I want to hear from you. Comment your thoughts about this ending and share how it made you feel. Finally, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to be inspired by this transformation. Let us spread the love.